called Lord Enterprises under Lord Industries. It was really bad. I closed it almost instantly. I'm now applying for CEO roles. I'm applying for factory management roles.
It's the same damn thing. That LLC does not protect you at all.
Nobody wants to buy a printer from a guy who doesn't have a company.
How do you determine when it is time to go official? Like, Jacob, how did you determine it was time to go official with Construct 3D?
Oh, that's a hard one. So where to even start? I wasn't actually going to go official with Construct 3D until much later than we actually did. And one of the reasons we went official was we were spending all this money in research and tax credits, but we couldn't gain anything back. And we realized, hey, the UK does 120% like tax rebates based off of if you're doing research and development. And that was one of the main reasons we went official and we incorporated, was because we could reclaim the money from spending it on building the first printer and researching it. The other one was, for in our unique particular case, nobody wants to buy a printer from a guy who doesn't have a company, because then it's just a guy who makes things. It's
right.
Not a professional, safety checked industrial piece of equipment. It's a unique piece. It's hard to say, but for other things that I've done, so I actually had a company before Construct 3D called Lord Enterprises under Lord Industries. It was really bad. I closed it almost instantly because the name was trash. But I was doing print service. I was designing things and printing things for people. And the reason I went official there was I was starting to get enough traction that I wanted to be able to give out invoices with a logo on it. I wanted to bring that professionality up, because that's one of the things where, like, being a sole trader, you can still have logos and you can still do all of this, but not being able to say, hey, here's my tax number, here's my invoice number, it just lends that little bit of used car salesman vibe, no matter how good you are. And that's why we went around it.
For us as 3D Musketeers, it was a pretty simple one, right? So in the US, you can actually operate to some extent without like an official business, but it ends up getting taxed as a sole proprietorship, at least in Florida. Well, that's a problem because, so, sole proprietorships, zero protection.
I'm glad you said that. That was the other big thing I completely forgot about until you said it.
Corporate veil piercing instantly.
If anything goes wrong in the UK and you're not incorporated, then you have zero protections. Being a limited liable company is in the name LLC. It means what you will lose if you lose the company is limited to what the company owns. It doesn't mean I've started this business, I built a printer, it turns out it was a bomb covered in shrapnel, and then I lose my home. You don't get that loss if you are running an LLC.
That's correct. Yeah. That was the big thing for us with 3D Musketeers, is that we needed some level of protection, right? We didn't want to just have that corporate veil instantly pierced, because you might say, oh, well, I have a business that protects me. That's not always accurate, right? 99% of the time, people start an LLC because they want that protection. But in Florida, and it might be in other states as well, but in Florida, if you have a single member LLC, it's a sole proprietorship. It's the same damn thing. That LLC does not protect you at all. Mike C8101 said, do you do employer contributions to a 401k? If we had employees, yes. So here's the trick. We don't have employees. They are contractors. And you might say, oh, You're abusing the employee network. No, we're not. They don't work enough hours. That's how it works. They don't work enough hours. Most of them have other jobs. If they don't have another job, that's on them, not on us. Some of them are still in school, right? So our graphic artists come out of Ringling College of Art and Design. They're still in school. Solo 401k. You're funny. You're funny. I do need to set a Roth IRA up. I haven't done it yet. I need to do it. You're funny. You think we're able to save money for the future? Like, look, again, this show is more of a do as we say, not as we do, right? Jacob chose an industry to manufacture 3D printers, but specifically chose a B2B, B2G, and B2E. It's business to business, business to government, and business to, let's say, education. Yes, education. His machines cost more than your average bamboo, right? So his sales numbers are going to be lower. The value is higher. It might take you a while to find your stride, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be willing and understanding of the fact that this can take time. You're not going to, at least for me, go to Sunbiz, register my company, pay the $300 or whatever it is to register the company, and then go out the next day and start making profit. It's unlikely.
It's not that type of industry, and it's not what we set out to be.
No.
And plus, there is another side to doing it the way we did. We already went into it with the mindset, it will take 10 years to make real profit. But that's the bet, that's the gamble that we made, was if we just do our best for 10 years, we can retire early, and then guess what? My retirement is going to be making more printers, because honestly, that's all I want to do. I have so many stupid ideas.
Or it's traveling the world and making videos, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's having the life of I don't have to look at my bank account every time I order a takeaway meal. But it's also meant that I now have a skill set that is irreplaceable and cannot be taught. It's one of those things that if I did, say, leave Console 3D, I'm now applying for CEO roles. I'm applying for factory management roles. I'm not
maybe not CEO, C-suite for sure. Although I know of a company that needs a CEO role filled. R.I.P.
But no, like I am able to now do jobs in a position that normally is for old white men. Like, you need to be 75 years and older to apply for this position. I've done it and I'm 28.
If you expect you're going to make profit when you first start a business, I've got some news for you. It's way harder than you think. And I don't say it's
impossible.
Yeah, I don't want to say that
so much harder than you think.
I don't want to say that to scare people. Because that's not what it's for. It's not to scare you. Right? But it should be to align your expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
And being a sole trader will earn you more money in the early run.
Yeah.
But cap the amount you can earn in the long run. It's like, take taxi driving, for example. Everybody knows how taxis work. If you are a sole trader as a taxi driver, you own one taxi. You can ferry around, earn all the profit for yourself, have none of the liability, none of the overheads. You will earn a decent living for yourself.
But you are capped.
However, if you want to earn more than that, you can't. You have one taxi. The only way to earn more is have more taxis, meaning more taxi drivers. Now you are the employer. You have overheads. You've got to spend more. But the benefit is you get to siphon everyone else's profit for yourself. You still have to pay them, but you can siphon a bit.
It is a challenge when you realize that, when you add people, you're not just doubling yourself. But so, okay, you've incorporated. You understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. You know the basics. How the actual hell do you know who to sell to?
We've gone back to the studio, though I was an idiot and I forgot all my plug sockets, hence why we only have one edge light, and that's it, because I'm an idiot.
You're edging today, I see.
I'm edging all the time. Oh.
And Dane, a.k.a. Doug, a.k.a. I'm coming for your kidneys, son, with the 2 pounds, saying you're a conflict of interest because you're handsome. I'm assuming he's talking about Jacob.
Everything is a square as long as you squint hard enough.
I don't know how I feel about that.